line.
Good little return there, Matt. I thought he got one more cut and another block, and we might have seen the streak down the field there.
So I'll go ahead and give you the starting defense for Alma, as they'll start in a 3-4. Up front, number 57, Tristan Nutt, number 22, Demetrius Humphrey, and number 58, Colton Nutt. Their linebackers, number 34, Andrew Bush, number 7, Isaac Plord, 15, Timothy Plord, number 36, Owen. Greenbrier starts with trips left, single receiver right. And Greenbrier will get our easy 5 right out of the gate. In the secondary for Alma, number 13, Caleb Lyles, number 10, Jackson Rust, number 18, Ashton Millsap, and number 2, John Crump. So Greenbrier gets Alma to jump in the neutral zone, and it'll be 1st down and 5 to start this drive. Hassan in pistol formation behind Palmer. Palmer calls for the snap. He will hand off to Hassan on the left side. Nice running lane as he's out to the 50. Cuts to the outside. He's at the 40. Down the sideline and will be bumped out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. So big run for Enoch.
Matt, just so explosive. I mean, he got through the hole, and then he jumped to his left, and off he went.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers, as they'll mark the ball at the 31. Twins to the right, single receiver left for Palmer. Takes a snap. He'll hand to Hassan up the middle. Makes a man miss at the 20. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Panthers!
It's going to take more than just a hand to bring him down.
What a great run by Enoch Hassan, and what a great hold there by the lineman.
Absolutely. They're just continuing their dominance in this conference here.
So just like that, this offense strikes in 35 seconds.
And 2 plays.
As we line up for the extra point. Ace Newland, your holder. Ethan Rhodes, your kicker. Snap is down. Kick is up. And it is good. So Greenbrier leads 7-6. We'll be right back after this with more Greenbrier Panther football on My Country, Y107. And welcome back to Airedale Stadium, and it has been offensive action so far here tonight as Alma takes their opening drive 76 and puts it in the end zone, and then Greenbrier takes their drive right down the field in 2 plays and scores. So started just like last week.
It's really not fair if our offensive line gives Enoch 5 yards. It's not fair to the secondary.
No, it's really not. And, you know, that's one thing I thought Farmington did an excellent job of last week is tackling in open space. You know, he'd break through the line and think he's going to take it to the house, and they'd do a great job of getting him down. Good high kick by Ethan Rhodes will go over the defender and land 8 yards into the end zone. Great kick.
Man, he's got a leg, Matt.
Yeah, he does. I don't know if all bands are this loud or just Alma's band, but they're very loud.
I would say, being on the opposing sideline at our place a lot, our band can get after it too.
So 8:13 left here in this opening quarter. Both teams have scored. Alma with the football on their own 20. They'll start with a stacked twin set to the left, single receiver to the right. Lemieux calls for the ball. He'll hand it this time on the right side. Good running lane, breaks through the first line and gets out close to the 1st down, and he will have enough for the 1st down.
Starting out just like they did the first series, Matt. We've got to wrap up and make good tackles there.
Yeah. That's Perkins, the sophomore running back. He's rushed for 455 yards so far this season, averaging about 4 yards a carry. Sometimes they'll like to line up Schlegel in the Wildcat formation, I noticed, and have not gone to that so far here tonight. Trips to the left, ball on the right hash. Lemieux hands it again on the right side. Greenbrier does a good job this time. Stacks him up for a short gain.
Yeah, they stood him up right there on the line, and then Ace Newland come through and cleaned it up.
He stopped at number 52, Ian Van Everett. Gain of 2 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 8.
Bring up a 2nd and 8 for the Airedales. Beautiful night here in Alma. Beautiful stadium. Kind of see the sunset over the mountaintop there. Man, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Matt, I think we'll probably see a little out pattern here or a crossing pattern based on their last series.
15 seconds on the play clock as they'll have 2 running backs this time with Lemieux. He'll take the snap, hands it off on the left side. Greenbrier hits him close to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be another short gain for Alma.
He stopped by number 47.
Greenbrier doing a good job of closing that run lane off right now.
We were in this situation last series, and let's see what they come out with. We're obviously going to see a pass on this one here and see how we defend this.
It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Airedales. Ball on the 36-yard line. Need to get to the 42, just shy of the 42 for a first down. Greenbrier will send an extra defensive back out this time. Trips to the left for Lemieux. He'll roll that way. He steps up into the pocket, lets it go, and just overthrows everybody, and it'll bring up a 4th down. So good stop by the Panther defense as Alma will send the punting unit on.
That was a much better look there on defense that time.
Lemieux had his man out here. It was a good route, just overthrew him a little bit. It's a tough throw rolling against your body like that.
It is, especially for a high school quarterback. And did you say he's a sophomore?
Yeah. Ethan Smith will be standing at the 30 to receive this punt. Good snap. He's got plenty of time. Gets the kick away. End over end kick. Will land at the 40 and take an Alma bounce. And they'll roll dead at about the 31-yard line. So decent field position for the Panthers as we'll keep it here. 5:48 left to play in the opening quarter.
Well, Matt, they took my my 3 deals up the front of the broadcast here, and
we're not listening to you, Dustin.
Nope.
So Greenbrier will come out for Lucas Thompson down here to the right by himself. Palmer turns, and a big loss on first down for the Panthers.
Well, we got beat on that left side bad that time.
That's one of the few times this year I've seen Enoch get tackled in the backfield. Bring up a 2nd down and 12 for the Panthers as they'll go empty set this time. Palmer by himself. And we got penalty flags everywhere. How is that a false start?
That's one I don't know. Greenbrier went with a hurry up trying to jump back up there, and I think it cost him 5. But
so it will be a false start for the Panthers. We're still trying to get everybody lined up. I didn't see it. Did he snap the football?
You got me on that one, Matt. That's
2nd down and 17 for the Panthers. Empty formation. Down on a quick screen and just skips it. The 30 and a big play for the Panthers.
Man, what a play there, Matt. What a great play call.
Yeah.
And you had your big guys, number 70 there, downfield, blocking his tail off. So that was great to see.
So 3rd and 17, the Panthers dial up a great screen play, and Hassan just flips the field. Ball is placed on the 28-yard line. Same formation. Palmer gets it out there to his screen, hits his man, and I think that is Mahan that has enough for the first down.
You know, Matt, over the years, we've seen a lot of screens used by Tribble's group, and very rarely have we seen that running back screen out of the backfield there, but it has been effective this year.
It really has. So 1st and 10 for the Panthers as they move the ball up to the 17-yard line. Greenbrier threatening to score the 2nd time tonight in as many tries. Palmer turns, hands to Hassan. Breaks it to the outside at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Panthers!
Touchdown, Greenbrier.
Matt, that hole on the left side, you know, we're a little bit old and slow, and I think we could have got through that hole.
You know, what's crazy is I think, you know, both sides of the line did great last week, but really the right side really showed out, I thought. There goes Keto. And we're making some huge holes last week.
That was Strader. I thought he was going to take that kid over there to the cheerleading.
I love it. So Greenbrier scores again with 4:30 left to play in the opening quarter. It's 13-6 as Rhodes measures off the extra point. Newland calls for the snap, gets it down. The kick is low, but it is good. So Greenbrier leads 14-6, 4:30 left to play. We'll be back right after this with Greenbrier Panthers on My Country, Y107. Difficulties are not being able to find us on the live stream. We've had some trouble getting everything set up. It's been kind of a circus up here, but I think we've got it running now, and so hopefully everything will go smooth from here on out. Rhodes, big high kick down the left side, will go over the return man into the end zone for another touchback.
Well, you like to see those touchbacks, Matt, but more so you get some height on it, let your team get down there, even if you don't make it quite to the end zone. So
yeah, for sure. So Greenbrier sends the defensive unit out. Dustin, great adjustments on that last drive and getting them off the field. You know, gave up one first down, but then we were able to get them off the field.
Yeah, we're starting to figure this thing out, I think, early.
So Alma will start with the ball on the left hash on the 20-yard line. Tight trip set over here to the boundary, one way out by the numbers on the right. Lemieux turns, hands it off to his running back on the right, and Greenbrier snows him under at the line of scrimmage.
He had no chance of squeaking through there. I think we had 4 waiting on him.
Great job by Ace Newland there, and looks like shoemate. There was several Panthers in on that play.
You could probably get the starting lineup out and just start going down it and be pretty close to accurate there.
They will give him a pickup of 1 as the ball's on the 21. Now they'll send trips to the right. One thing that's a little bit different than last week is Alma's a little bit more deliberate in their play calling as they're waiting until about 10 seconds before running the play. Lemieux rolls to his right. Newland gives chase. Now he goes deep down the right side. Receiver goes up for it and just goes right through his hands. Double covered, so good coverage by the Panthers.
Well, Matt, we had that double covered. We had the out covered and the deeper out. So we're figuring this thing out.
And really a good throw by Lemieux. That's a long throw all the way across the field. Gave his guy a chance to go up and catch it, which will bring up a 3rd down and 9 here. And the last thing Alma wants to do is give Greenbrier offense the ball back.
We'd be pretty close to midfield right here if we got a punt off.
So Alma will send 3 receivers out to the right again. Perkins to the left of Lemieux. Lemieux will take his drop, looks down the middle, now to the right. Hits his man in stride, and he will make the catch and have enough for the first down.
Matt, that was really a great throw by the quarterback there on that slant, and a great throw and catch by him.
Yeah, I think that was Perkins, his go-to guy again.
And honestly, it was pretty well defended.
It was. I mean, he was hit as soon as he caught the ball, and it was just a great throw and catch. So 1st and 10 for the Airedales. Ball is placed at the 32-yard line. Trips left this time. This Greenbrier will walk up 2 linebackers. They'll hand it off up the middle. And a short run, but a decent pickup by Perkins there on first down as he'll pick up 3.
He's tackled by number 46, Greenbrier.
That middle's tightened up. We were given 5 to 10 yards on the first couple of series there, and the last few have been 1 to 3. So we're starting to bow our backs up there.
2:45 left to play here in the opening quarter. Greenbrier leads 14-6 as Alma tried to run a little trickeration on their 2-point conversion and were unsuccessful. 2 running backs this time for Lemieux. He'll turn, hand it off on the right. Nope, fake. Got his man, little contact, and no flags.
Really, that was great timing on that, Matt, getting there when the ball got there.
The home contingent thought it was a little early, but they might be a little biased.
I've never met a home team that wasn't.
A good fake by Lemieux. I thought he handed it, but just tried to run a little skinny post, and it's a pretty good throw, but good defense by the Panthers. Bring up another 3rd down and long as they're 3rd and 7 for the Airedales. They'll run a bunch set, trips out to the left. Now he'll move Perkins to his right. Takes his snap, looks left. Double clutches, now has a man over the middle and tried to get Slagle on a slant and throws it a little bit too low. And Alma will have to punt the football away.
Matt, they're really pulling out some playbooks from Farmington last week. Those crossing patterns were effective that first half. They ran 2 right there, a shallow and a deep, and couldn't connect on either one of them.
That's exactly right. And Coop talked about it last week. And, you know, those crossing routes are just so hard to defend. You get mixed up with your linebackers going across the middle, but Greenbrier's done a good job so far. They come after the punt. He does just get it away, and a good end-over-end kick. And Ethan Smith calls for the fair catch and is tackled anyway.
Ethan Smith on the return. He's tackled by number 9, Brooks Belcher.
No flags, but yeah, I don't understand why there wasn't a flag there.
It was an accident, Matt.
He didn't mean to.
He didn't mean to.
Maybe it wasn't a significant enough fair catch call. I don't know. I mean, pretty much they err on the side of caution. If the kid throws his hands up at all, it's a fair catch. No flags, so Greenbrier will have the ball at the 34-yard line. 2:10 left to play here in this opening quarter. Pistol formation for Palmer. Tight bunch set for the Panthers. As there is 8 in the box now for Alma. They'll hand it off to Hassan right up the middle at the 50, and he's down the sideline to 40. He's giving chase at the 30, and they will take him down there as he'll be marked out at the 26-yard line, and another big pickup for Enoch Hassan.
And Matt, this is why you've seen Alma trying to run the clock as much as they could. They're trying to avoid this thing right here.
As Greenbrier will go with tempo as they get up on the ball quickly. Twins to both sides in stacked sets. Palmer takes it, gets a little screen out here to Lucas Thompson, and breaks a tackle down to about the 13-yard line, and it will be enough for the first down.
There was no dancing there by Lucas. He put his head down and went and got 10 strong yards.
Ball is placed on the 14-yard line. So 1:39 left to play in the opening quarter. Greenbrier threatening to score again as they have the ball in the red zone. Palmer will bring a man in motion. Hands it off to Hassan. He cuts back to the right, to 5, and he will walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers!
Touchdown, Greenbrier. Hassan for a 14-yard touchdown.
Do you see many teams strike so quickly with the run?
I really don't, man. And I tell you, you know what? Just like you said earlier, he's getting to the second level without getting touched.
Without. And one thing to note out there, Matt, is you won't see this very often. Mosley and Mahan weren't on the field.
That's right.
You may see that in the second half, but not in the first quarter.
So Greenbrier with their 3rd touchdown in as many tries so far here in the first quarter as they line up for the extra point. Ace Newland calls for the ball, gets a snap down, kick, another low line drive kick, but he does get it to go through as Greenbrier leads 21-6. We're going to take a break. Greenbrier Panther football right after this on My Country, Y107. We're out in the elements as they've got us up here on the top of this 5-story press box. And it's a beautiful vantage point, but it's a little warm out here.
It is a little warm, Matt, for sure. But it's a great night for high school football.
Ethan Rhodes has it measured off as he approaches the football. He'll put a boot into it down the left side. And this one will be returnable as he catches it at the 2. Brings it up the right hash, and the Panthers will stack him up there at the 20. And just like a touchback, you just had to work a little harder.
I think he's second questioning that whether bringing it out was a good idea or not.
Yeah. They will give him 1 extra yard, so he gets it out to the 21.
A little bit for effort there.
That's right. Panther defense comes out and really has looked a really good so far outside of that first drive. Really made some adjustments over there on the sideline and has shut this Airedale offense down the last 2 drives.
I think we've given up 2 first downs since that first drive there, Matt.
So Alma will come out with the receiver out here wide to the numbers on the left side. 2 halfbacks up close to the line of scrimmage. They'll turn, they'll pull, and now the quarterback will keep it on the left behind those 2 blockers. And short pickup there as Ace Newland takes him down.
Not a bad design play, though, there, Matt, getting your lead blockers out there. I think there was 3 out there leading, but we did a good job of stacking that up.
Pick up 6 there, bring up a 2nd down and 4. Ball on the 31. I'm sorry, the 26. Needs to get to the 31 for a first down. Alma gets the play call in. Same formation. They'll bring a man from right to left. Lemieux turns, hands it off to his running back, and a good job there.
Ethan Rhodes flew downhill through that hole and made that big tackle.
Ethan come out of that safety position, read that all the way, and was able to get him in the backfield for a loss. And with 10 seconds left on the clock, I think Alma's going to be content to take this one into the second quarter. As they start walking that way, that will be the case. So at the end of 1, Greenbrier leads 21-6. We'll be back with more Greenbrier Panther football right after this on My Country, Y107.
He read it all the way, and I thought he had pick 6 on his mind.
Oh, man. And a great job by the Panther secondary there. I couldn't tell it was that
Tyree?
That was Tyree that about picked that one. Just cut in front of that slant and about took it to the house. Unable to haul it in, but it will bring up a 4th down and punting situation for the Airedales.
I know he's a young sophomore, but skill-wise, he may be one of the better ones we've seen at that D-back position in a few years.
He's special. Smith back deep. Good high kick this time. He'll call for the fair catch again. This time they don't tackle him. And he'll haul it in safely at the 41-yard line. So great field position for the Panthers. Yeah, I'm just going to have to get with him in this offseason and get him some peanut butter and chocolate milk, get a little weight on him.
You know, that's Ace's diet right there. He comes home every night and has since last year. He gets a big cup of chocolate milk and chocolate donuts.
Hey,
and,
there you go.
35 pounds later.
I love it. Greenbrier will have the football on their own 41-yard line. Pistol formation for Palmer. You take the snap, fakes the handoff, little quick screen or a little slant to Mosley, and a little bit behind him, unable to haul that one in.
Well, that's a tough catch right there. That was only about 4 yards and coming across traffic.
Yeah, those are not fun, especially when the ball's behind you, because you never know when you turn that head around what's waiting on you.
He just let that one go and left to play another day.
2nd down and 10, empty formation. They get it out here on a screen pass to Hassan. He's got the catch, and we'll get it up over the 50. Now we have a flag thrown. And probably going to be a hold, if I'm guessing.
In that vicinity by the back, by the white cap there on the backside, it usually is.
Yeah. Got him marked a couple yards short of the 1st down, but it is a hold, which will back him up. So, am I mistaken, or has it always been from the line of scrimmage? I thought it was from the spot of the foul.
I did too, as long as it was positive, and if not, listen, we're learning new rules every day out here.
They did that last week in the Farmington games. The reason I ask, I'm going to have to give some verification on that. I thought high school was from the spot of the foul. So we'll bring up a 2nd down and long here for the Panthers. 2nd and 20. Palmer fakes the handoff. Now gets it out here on a little out route to his receiver. That is Salter Mahan. Catches it and unable to turn upfield. But a good pickup on 2nd down as he gets close to the original line of scrimmage.
Really, that was a nice, crisp timing route. He got upfield, hit that cut.
A gain of 9 yards. Greenbrier needs 11 yards.
3rd down and 11 for the Panther offense. 2nd time tonight the Panthers have been behind the chains on 3rd down. Last time ran a running back screenplay and turned out for big yardage. See what Coach Bertram dials up this time. Palmer fakes the handoff, straight drop, go route down the sideline. He's got his man beat on stride. 5, touchdown Panthers, and what a great throw by Jack Palmer.
On the money.
I mean, that was right in the fingertips of his receiver, streaking down the sideline. Salter Mahan hauls it in and just waltzes into the end zone. Dustin, I'll tell you, man, it's just that they can score in so many different ways.
I don't know how you don't have a safety over the top with 10 and 3 out on the edges there.
I agree.
Of course, I know you can only have 11 on the field, so at some point you're going to run out.
And I'll be honest with you, I think that's the first time we've seen just a flat go route all year.
Yeah, I can't remember if we've seen some at Russellville or not. We got over the top a couple times, yeah. but yeah, that was good to see.
Kick is up, and it is good. Greenbrier leads 28-6 with 10:56 left to play in the 2nd quarter. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this with Greenbrier Panther football on My Country, Y107. A minute 4 off the clock, and Greenbrier strikes just that quickly.
They didn't waste any time there, Matt, getting in the end zone.
No, sir. Time of possession tonight is probably not very much. Rhodes approaches the football. Good line drive kick. Will drive it deep into the end zone as that one bounces out of the back. Man, I think his leg's gotten stronger.
Matt, that was 2 yards from being out of the back of the end zone. That may be one of the best kicks I've seen him kick.
That was a boot. So Alma will take over again at the 20. Defense has done a really, really good job of making some in-game adjustments as Alma took the opening possession, 76 yards, and scored really mostly through the air. And Greenbrier has made some adjustments and shut them down since. Alma will start this time with trips to the right, single receiver out to the left in pistol formation. Lemieux's your quarterback, Perkins your running back. Schlegel has been quiet so far here tonight. Hand it off to Perkins. He's got some room on the left side and a good run on first down for Alma.
Ethan Rhodes come up and made the hit, and he wrapped up that time.
Yeah.
So,
you know, watching the Perkins kid run and this quarterback has obviously got some ability. The future is bright in that backfield for Alma.
oh, absolutely. When you've got two sophomores back there, you've got to be excited about what's coming.
I believe Schlegel's only had one touch here tonight so far. It was a little slant pattern early in the ball game and has been quiet since. Two running backs this time for Lemieux. Stacked twins to the right. He'll turn, hand it off on the left side again, and Greenbrier does a good job stopping him for a short gain.
He's trying to slip out that other side there. He did the last time, and he tried there, but we stopped it.
2nd down and 8 now for the Airedales as they'll place the ball at the 33-yard line. Alma moving from left to right if you're listening to us on the radio. Alma in the all green with the green lids. Greenbrier in the all white uniforms with the customary blue helmets. Trips to the right for Lemieux. He'll roll that way. And nobody open. Greenbrier gives chase. Now he'll just throw it up to the sideline, and good defense by Ethan Smith as the ball's batted out of bounds, incomplete.
That was well played. Matt, we're a little bit in a box here with no breeze tonight, but I'm looking over at the flags, and there ain't any on the field either. It's a little warm.
I believe that front's going to move in tomorrow and bring in some cooler air with it.
Did you see next Friday? It's going to get in the low 50s.
Is that right?
Yeah, almost upper 40s, I think.
I'll have to wear a parka. Trips to the right in a bunch formation for Alma. Lemieux, straight drop. Tries to hit the slant. It gets pressure, just throws it up. It's picked by the Panthers. Up the middle, and he's got some room at the 20, the 10. Can he get to the corner? And he's pushed out of bounds. Not quite able to get there, but a great play by Roop Adams.
There comes that stingy defense.
I love it. That is awesome. Big play. Quarterback, that was a sophomore mistake right there.
Yeah.
Got some pressure and just tried to throw it up for hope and a prayer, and Greenbrier does a good job of picking it off.
Well, you got to think he probably went out of bounds on purpose there. He knows Enoch needs another stat on his
right.
on his board there, so he was looking out for his teammate.
He will be knocked out of bounds at the 3, so Greenbrier will take over possession there. Chance here to tack on another one. And this one's getting out of hand pretty early here, Dustin. Twins to the left. Hassan behind Palmer. Bring a man in motion. That's Cummings. A little pop pass, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. No flags, so touchdown Panthers.
It's good to see Cummings getting involved. You know, he's battled some injuries, some concussions and whatnot the last few weeks, and he's really a weapon that we haven't had to use this year. So whether he gets used down the stretch or next year, he's a good one to have.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you look at that receiving core between him and Mahan and Mosley and Thompson, and I mean, you saw Zach Evans take one for 50 last week. I mean, there's just so many weapons. Rhodes has got it lined up. Low snap. Newland does get it down in time, and the kick is good. So a good job of concentration there as he knocks it through. Greenbrier leads 35-6, 9:07 to play in the first half. We'll be back right after this. So 9:07 left to play in the first half. Greenbrier 35, Alma 6. Alma took the opening drive and scored, and Greenbrier's defense has been stingy since then. As Rhodes has it lined up for another kick. See if he can put this one in the back of the end zone. Gets under this one a little bit, and it will be returnable as it lands, hits the running back, and goes out of bounds. And, man, what a bad break for Alma.
Starting on the 4-yard line after the last few series you've had is that's going to be a tough one.
Man, when it rains, it pours. So the Airedales will take over at the 4 after the return man couldn't decide if he wanted to catch it or try to let it go out of bounds, and it just bounces off of him out of bounds, and Alma will take over there. Alma sends their offensive unit back out. They'll stay in that, I don't even know what you call that formation. 2 up backs. Now they'll bring the one from right over to the left. They'll pull them to the right and hand it to the running back, and not much there.
You never like to be taking the snap in your own end zone.
No, not at all. Pickup of 2 for Perkins. Bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Alma just can't figure out their rhythm tonight. You know, they had that good first drive, and then they just struggled since.
They really have. Trips right for Lemieux. Perkins behind him in the end zone. He'll hand it. Nope, fakes the handoff. Gets it out here on a stop route to Schlegel, and Ethan Smith wraps him up immediately, and they'll blow it dead. As he'll pick up 8 and be close to the first down.
Matt, I don't know that ball didn't go right through Crass's hands.
I think it did. I think it did. They'll move it back a little bit, so bring a 3rd and 2. So big play here for this Alma offense. Really need to get something going here before half. 2 running backs for Lemieux. Tries to get Greenbrier to jump. They do a good job of staying disciplined. 3 on the play clock. They're going to have to hurry. And Coach will call a timeout. We're going to keep it here. And Dustin, you know, we're close to this one being a sportsmanship rule. So Alma really need to get something going here.
Well, I always like to see a good game, but you know, when we're this far away from home, I don't mind getting home early either.
That's true.
You know, I mentioned Crass a while ago, another sophomore on that defensive side of the ball that's really played well this year. Still learning the role, but he's had some really nice plays.
You know, that's the one bright side. I want to say one bright side. The defense has been a bright side altogether so far this year, but all of those kids, or the majority of those kids, will be back next year.
You're absolutely right, and you want to have a good senior group, but it's nice to have some underclassmen to know what's coming up and get that experience.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the 9th grade class has got some really good athletes in it, so I think some guys that will be able to help this team next year offensively. So it's really exciting, the prospects that the Greenbrier football program's got in the works.
Well, you know, I was talking to a good friend of mine this week about numbers on the sideline, and when you can get your senior class above 20 each year, you're putting yourself in a good position in the conference.
No doubt. 3rd down and 2 for Alma. Lemieux hands it on the left side of Perkins. He's hit immediately, and I don't think he got there.
Matt, he didn't get it. He's a yard short.
So a great job by the Panther defense. They bring up a 4th down and 1, and Alma looks like they're going to go for it, which is pretty bold. I mean, their ball's on their own 13-yard line.
At this point, 35-6 in the second quarter, 7 minutes left. What do you have to lose?
I guess so. I mean, you haven't stopped our offense yet, so if it's 13 or 83, it doesn't matter, I don't guess. 4th and 1 for the Airedales. And play clock down to 1 again, and Coach will burn another timeout. We're going to take a timeout with them this time with 6:45 left to play. Greenbrier leads 35-6. More Greenbrier Panther football right after this on My Country 107. Break to be able to not have to scream into the mic. So 6:45 left to play. Greenbrier leads. Big fourth down for Alma as it's 4th and 1 on their own 13. They'll bring Schlegel in motion. And a little trickeration. They've got a man wide open, and he catches it at the 30. And a great play call by the coach for Alma.
Boy, they caught us looking in the backfield, getting ready for that run.
They did. That was a great play call.
And here comes the confetti.
So first down after a big play on 4th and 1, gets the ball all the way out to the 47. Lemieux, a little fake. Fumbled. And now he finally gets it to him. He's got a man, throws it up, and
he caught it, man.
Wow. Might have got away with a little bit of a push off.
Yeah, Ethan was right there with it. I think just mistimed his jump a little bit, but to your point, I don't know that he didn't get pushed right there.
So a double reverse flea flicker. They fumbled the flea flicker. Still got it to him, and the kid just threw it up, and the receiver able to come up with a big catch for Alma.
Well, the thing you like to see there, though, is our secondary didn't bite. They played assignment ball, stayed with their men, and really just a great catch by that kid.
It really was. Greenbrier going to take a timeout and try to get things sorted out here, as his 2 trick plays in a row has resulted in about 70 yards. And Alma has the ball on their own on Greenbrier's 22, threatening to score here right before half.
I think Stone's going to have a little conversation over there and see if we can get this thing worked out.
Yeah, and honestly, the 4th down play, it's easy to get drawn into. I mean, everybody in the stadium thought they were going to run it, including me. And it was just a great play call. But that one there, I mean, like you said, we were in great coverage. The kid just went out and made a heck of a catch.
Not much you can do about that. I mean, they even dribbled the ball in the backfield just for an extra bonus point.
That's right. So 1st and 10 for the Airedales. Ball's at the 22. Let's see if this Greenbrier defense can bow their necks and keep them out of the end zone. They'll send 2 receivers out left, 2 running backs in the backfield with Lemieux. Perkins down here against the numbers. He'll try to get it to him on a crossing route, and a great job by Tyree again, undercutting the route and just knocking the ball away.
Had great position on that, and I think if he'd have got his left hand up with his right, he would have had a pick there.
And that is not the guy I would be challenging in the secondary.
No, not when you think about, what is it, Schlegel?
Yeah.
They've gone to him, once?
I think twice now, yeah. I mean, he was their offense against Valonia. Lemieux throws it, little tight end, release. And the Airedales with another trickeration play. I don't know how many they got, but that's the only thing that's got us so far.
Safety got sucked in a little bit right there, and they ran the tight end right down the middle.
I don't know. I wasn't paying that close of attention. Was it a tight end or was it tackle eligible? It may have been a tackle eligible.
I think it was 48, so I don't know where he was lined up.
Yeah. So 3 trick plays on this drive results in a touchdown for Alma as they'll line up to go for 2 here. So they'll bring a man from right to left. And quarterback will keep it on the right side, tries to bounce it outside. Greenbrier does a great job and takes him down. 2-point conversion is no good. Greenbrier leads 35-12 with 5:47 left to play in the half. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Greenbrier Panther football right after this on My Country, Y107. Welcome back to Alma as Alma gets ready to kick the ball away after a unconventional drive there, Dustin.
Well, you know, Matt, they just played like they had nothing to lose and took a bunch of chances, and it worked out for them.
Looks like they might line up to kick an onside here. So they fake it to the left, and now we'll kick it onside to the right. Ball bounced in the air, and it is now a scrum. I don't know that it went 10 yards, did it? Originally. Greenbrier is able to come away with it, as that was number 44 for the Panthers, Zach Evans.
No, it didn't go 10 yards, Matt, but I think you got to be aggressive and go get it. But they got one. We weren't prepared for that. We didn't have our hands team out there.
So Greenbrier will have excellent field position here as they take over at Alma's 47-yard line.
Well, you definitely want to bounce back right here, stop with that little bit of momentum they got going. They got a little bit of excitement going down there, and we come back out here and score, and we'll be back.
Harrison leading Morrilton right now, 13-12. It shows in the first quarter. Try to get you an update on that one at halftime. Ball on the left hash. They'll bring a man in motion. It'll be a reverse to Mosley. He's got some room. Now it's a pass. He hits the man in stride at the 20, the 15, and be taken down there. And Greenbrier with some of their own trickeration.
Bertram said, watch this. We got one of those in our pocket.
I love it. Who was on the reception there? I couldn't
11, Dearsall.
Okay. So a reverse pass, and Mosley, heck of a baseball player, just throws it and hits him in stride. Palmer on a screen pass. Alma defends this one pretty well, as they'll fight for yardage and be knocked out of bounds for a pickup of 2.
Palmer was just a little slow getting that out there, and the defense was able to come up and make a stop.
I think that was Thompson on the reception there. And give him 1 instead of 2, so bring up a 2nd down and 9. Ball on the 13-yard line. Palmer turns, hands off to Hassan. And a good job by Alma in the backfield, but he does make a couple guys miss and turns it into positive yardage.
Matt, he almost made a top 10 play there with that stiff arm. Kid ran into a 4x4 right there.
So we'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 here for Greenbrier. 5 minutes left to play in the half. Greenbrier trying to put on another score here before half. As they'll send twins to the left, which will be Mosley and Mahan. Palmer fakes the handoff. Gets it out of his hands. Got his man at the 6. That is Mahan. He catches it and knocked out of bounds immediately, and a good out route by Salter.
You know, Matt, they were trying to run Trendon on that flag route to the corner of the end zone, but if they would have thrown the slant off that flag, he was wide open and would have walked in.
And a great job by the senior there of knowing where the stick was and got just enough for the first down. You know, one thing, and I don't like it personally, I would like to see them measure more often. But, you know, with these turf fields, it's pretty easy to see sometimes. But that was pretty dead-gum close.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't measure that. And Alma ran the clock a little bit too long there. They're going to reset it to 4:40 instead of 4:20.
Well, and for time's sake, you know, and being on the chain gang, they're going to put it on the marker, and if it's close, they're moving forward. So
yeah. Greenbrier first and goal from the 4. Hassan on the right side. He bounces it outside. Now it's a race to the corner. We do have a flag down. He does get into the end zone.
I think this could be defensive holding.
I think the white hat is just bound and determined to throw a hold against us. It is a hold against the Panther offense, which will back them up.
You know, when that play stretches out there, though, it
is tough.
It's tough to hold your block when you think they're going inside. He cuts out.
So it'll back it up all the way to the 14. It'll be first and goal from the 14. Does take a touchdown off the board for Enoch. Pistol formation for Palmer. Mahan out wide to the left. Hands it off to Hassan. Great cutback, and never mind. He said, I'll get it back. Touchdown, Panthers.
You know, Matt, I was just fixing to make a comment about Alma's defense. They looked like they had a little more life after that touchdown, but Enoch didn't care.
Yeah. He said, I'd rather score from 14 instead of 4, so just give me 10 more yards. And, man, we talk about it all the time, but his vision is next level. I mean, it really is.
Unbelievable.
Rose to line up for the extra point. Newland gets the snap down. This kick is up, and it is good. And, hey, they've been perfect tonight on the extra points.
They might have figured it out.
So 4:12 left to play. Greenbrier leads 42-12. We're going to keep it right here. I'm going to give you some score updates, maybe from across the 5A. If I can get my phone to update here. Harrison, it still shows Harrison leading 13-12 in the first quarter over Morrilton. Farmington 37, Bologna 0. That one in the first quarter. Let's see, the other score, they don't have a score yet for P. Ridge and Clarksville. Hot Springs is leading Magnolia 19-16. I figured that one would be a good ball game. Parkview all over Texarkana High. I guess they played last night. It's 42-14 the final there. Valley View beating Brooklyn 28-6.
You know, that's east side there. I'll be anxious to watch that Searcy and Valley View game.
Yeah.
That'll determine a lot on that side of the ball, or the side of the state there.
All right, we're about ready for some more action here in Alma as Greenbrier gets ready to kick this one away. Ethan Rhodes done a fantastic job of kicking the ball off tonight, as he'll have this one measured off. Perkins back deep for the Airedales. Rhodes puts a boot into this one, and will carry that one into the end zone for another touchback. So, Dustin, this is another opportunity here for this Panther defense to get a stop, and if you can somehow get this stop in time to get another touchdown on the board, you can be looking at the mercy rule here in the second half.
I think that's what they'll be aiming for here, Matt. It's, you know, play disciplined football. They had a couple big plays that we were there with, but then we lost our man on 2 of them, and that cost us.
So Alma will come out and take over at their own 20. They'll have 2 running backs in the backfield with Lemieux. 2 receivers out to the left as the ball is placed on the right hash. Lemieux will turn, fakes the handoff, gets it on a little out route to his receiver, and that is Jackson. And he does have a good catch and turns it upfield for a big gain.
Yeah, Tyree, I think, got a little bit turned around there the opposite way and lost his man for just a minute.
Dylan Jackson, a good receiver here for the Airedales. Trying to see what year he is as well.
You know, when you're that D-back playing man-on-man out there on the island, it's one of the toughest positions on the field.
No doubt about that. Jackson is a junior, so another bright talent for the Airedales will be back out here next year. Ball still on the right hash, 1st and 10. Ball's on the ground. Alma able to pick it back up, but nowhere to go as they'll blow it dead at the 35. And just a mix up on the mesh point there, and the ball hits the ground.
Matt, they've dropped the ball twice, and it's bounced right back into their hands, and that could have gone the other way pretty quickly.
So 2nd down and 12 for the Airedales as the clock continues to tick. Now at 3:40 left to play here in this half. Alma going to do their best not to give this ball back to the Panthers and try to melt this clock away here in the first half. Twins to both sides for Lemieux. His running back to his left. Lemieux takes his drop, looks left, gets it out quickly, and hits Schlegel right in the numbers. Not able to haul that one in, and that is unlike that young man.
I thought it almost hit us in the numbers on the backside there.
Schlegel has 45 carries for 241 yards and 6 touchdowns this year, which is 5.3 yards a carry. He also has 24 receptions for 360 yards, and he's 3rd all-time in receptions here at Alma. 3rd down and 12. Greenbrier gets some pressure. Lemieux steps up into the pocket. Now he'll run, and sandwiched by Newland and Roop Adams, but he does pick up good yardage there, which will bring up a 4th down and 5.
Yeah, you seen Newland pick up that crossing route, gave him a bump, and then the quarterback came out and picked him up, and then Roop came up and finished it.
So no surprise here after Alma went for it on their own 13. They will go for it this time up closer to midfield. Ball on the 42, 4th down and 5 for Alma. 10 on the play clock as they'll keep 2 running backs with Lemieux. Fakes the handoff, gets it on a go route. His man's all alone, catches it at the 30, 20, 10, touchdown Airedales. And it looks like the defensive back fell down.
Well, the receiver ran a little hitch and go there. I think Tyre's feet got caught up, and it was an easy throw and catch.
And I believe, I could be wrong on this, I believe that's the first time we've been beat over the top all year long.
I don't remember the Warren game, but I know they got a few there with some of those good receivers. But, man, since then, I know we have tightened that secondary up, and so that was a tough one to watch.
So Alma strikes pretty quickly. With 2:18 left to play in the half, they will try to go for 2 again here. Ball on the left hash. Lemieux will roll to his right. Double pumps, now gets it out into the end zone and finds Schlegel for the 2-point conversion. So 2:18 left. Alma cuts the lead almost in half as it's Greenbrier 42, Alma 20. We're going to keep it right here.
You know, Ethan Smith had Schlegel there in his hip pocket. He hit the brakes, did a reverse, and turned back the other way, and the quarterback was able to hit him.
Yeah, I mean, when you roll that way and you have to cover for that long, it's really tough to do.
That's right. Well, Alma's found a little bit of life the last couple of series.
They really have.
Putting it together, so.
You know, it's not surprising. You know, this program has history here and a lot of tradition at Alma with their football program. This town loves their football. And these kids they're always going to come out and give you everything they got.
Well, and truth be told, listen, we need to play.
Yeah.
And we need, not to be run over and keep our heads where they need to be. So this isn't necessarily a bad thing, although you like to get your starters out. But.
Sure. Alma's obviously defensively has not had an answer for this Panther offense here tonight, as they've scored every time they've had the ball. Alma will kick the football away deep this time. And Lucas Thompson retreats, fumbles it, picks it up at the 5, and now nowhere to go, but he does make a couple guys miss, but will be tackled deep in Greenbrier territory at about the 12-yard line.
Just hang on to the ball right there. You don't want to cough anything up on your 10 or 15-yard line.
See exactly where they spot it here. Looks like the 13, so Greenbrier will have to go 87 to get it into the end zone.
This will be their worst starting field position of the night.
By far. Palmer will bring his offense out. Greenbrier threatening to put up a half 100 here in the first half. Pistol formation for Palmer. And Alma's coach did not like what he saw as he takes his last time out before Greenbrier gets this one off.
You can't take him to the locker room.
That's right. That's right. I don't know, Dustin, that I've seen. We've been very, very explosive so far this year, but I don't know that we've scored close to 100 in one half so far.
No. The Farmington game was headed that way last week. You look at, they had 28 going into halftime, and I think we had, 21.
Yeah.
Our defense only gave up 3 points other than the pass with no time on the clock.
That's right.
So,
defense really stepped up in the second half, and hats off to Coach Stone and that defensive staff of going in at halftime and making those adjustments. And, to me, last week I really thought the turning point in the ball game was when we come out, we got the ball and they held us, and then we held them to a field goal. I really feel like just holding them out of the end zone gave them so much more confidence, and it was over after that.
They didn't have an answer for us after that.
So Greenbrier will start at their own 13. Palmer will fake the handoff, gets it out, and he's got a receiver at the 20, and he will step out of bounds. And a good job there by Jack as he was getting pressured. Had to throw that one sidearm, not able to step into it, and still able to get it to his receiver.
A little gunslinger action there.
Yeah. Was that Mosley on the catch?
That was, and I think he made a one-handed catch over there.
So 2nd down and 1, quads to the left, empty backfield for Palmer. He takes his drop, little screen play. That's out here to Mosley. He's got some good blocking. Mahan's got to stick with his block there. If he sticks with his block, that's probably a house call.
Matt, I almost come over the top of it because I thought it was a 6 right there.
So 1st down for the Panthers. Greenbrier going to have to go with a little tempo here. 1:48 and counting. Palmer fakes the handoff to Hassan, rolls to his right. He's got his man out here on a little slide route and be taken down short of the 1st down. Greenbrier with 2 timeouts left.
That was Deersall. He caught it. Matt, he wasted no time planting that foot and getting north and south.
2nd down and 1, 1:35 to play in the half. Greenbrier on the move. Empty formation again for Palmer. Takes a snap, looks to his left. Now has his man over the middle. That's Mosley, and you can kiss him goodbye, son. 10, 5, touchdown Panthers. Oh my goodness.
I think him and the defensive back got tangled up a little. We just traded that off with Alma from the last series there. So
great throw by Jack, and a good job by Trendon, like you said, getting kind of tangled up and just breaking free. And that's a good job of concentrating on the football. Because sometimes, you get tangled up like that, and those are easy to drop.
Those OIs get real big.
Yeah. So just like that, Greenbrier scores in less than a minute. And this extra point to put 49 points up on the board in a half. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. Greenbrier 49, Alma 20. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the end of the first half for you right here on My Country, Y107.
Third place again.
Well, welcome back to Alma as we get ready to wrap up this first half as Greenbrier gets ready to kick the ball away. Greenbrier 49, Alma 20 with 1:04 left to play in the opening half.
Matt, I tell you, this game really reminds me of a spring sport called a track meet.
Yeah, no doubt. 69 total points here on the board in the first half. And you really think that there hasn't been much defense played, and there really hasn't on Alma's part. But Greenbrier, I thought, has played pretty solid so far defensively.
They have. It's the last 2 series they've gave up a couple of quick touchdowns, and let's see if they can get it back together here going into halftime.
Rhodes with a good high kick this time will be returnable as it bounces at the 1 and checks up. And he will be forced to bring it out and gets it out to the 17, and Greenbrier will swarm him under there. That looked like a daggum pitching wedge right there.
That kind of reminded you of a punt when they kick on the end of it where it just bounces back.
Yeah, return man was going to let it bounce through the end zone, which typically a kickoff will, and that one backed up. So Alma will have it at their own 17 to start this drive with 58 seconds left in the first half.
Well, Matt, you got to have a big stop here because they get the ball coming out of halftime, and you don't want to let them double up on back-to-back series.
Actually, we get the ball.
We do get the ball.
That's right.
My bad on that one.
Trips to the right for Alma. He'll turn, hand it off to Perkins on the left, and nowhere to go for Perkins as Greenbrier does a good job there on the line of scrimmage.
Well, we've done a good job on the run, other than that first series and a little bit on that second. We've really shut that down.
So 2nd down and 10 for Alma. 35 seconds left to play.
Man, they're just going to let the clock run down.
Trips right again for Lemieux. Takes a snap, and we'll hand it off again to Perkins up the right side this time. A good run, picks up about 5. And at this pace, I'm going to say that's going to be the last play of the half. Alma in no hurry to try to go score.
I'll be honest, as quick as they've scored the last 2 series, I'm surprised they didn't give it a go right here.
And that will be the final play of the half. Greenbrier leads 49-20. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have some stats and talk about this second half right after this on My Country, Y107.
For the 30th anniversary, East is coming back to where it all started, right here in Greenbrier, Arkansas. East is more than a program. East is an experience.
We believe every learner everywhere should have an opportunity to have an East experience.
Every student that grows is a success story because it's not about the technology or the tools. You get to be the leader of your own learning. You get to make the decision and the choice of what you want to learn based on who you want to help.
East has made an impact on many students and left its mark on history.
I believe in my heart that when the history of 21st century education is written, East will be in the first paragraph.
In our community, I think you have a lot of students that realize the importance of volunteering and giving back to the community and becoming good civic leaders.
Starting in middle school, students across our campuses have the opportunity to join East program.
I think people should join East so that they can have better scholarships and have a better opportunity to get a higher education.
It is a unique experience that you cannot find anywhere else in school.
With the help of East students and staff at Greenbrier High School, East celebrated their 30th anniversary and will continue to celebrate more years to come. Reporting for GHTV, I'm Jovi Malone.
Did you know the production you're watching is being run and managed completely by Greenbrier High School media production students?
Students in the GHTV program are responsible for running live streams of different school events.
Stand by camera 1. Things like athletics, school signing days, and many other campus events.
We also work on other productions throughout the year. We make news packages and feature videos telling the stories of our school.
Don't forget about our short films and the weekly news for the high school.
The GHTV program has 2 different YouTube channels. The channel you're on now is where you will find all of our live streams.
And on the GHTV Productions channel, you will find student projects like news packages and short films.
Make sure to subscribe to both channels so you stay updated on all of our content.
Hundreds are running here at Greenbrier High School, not just for the finish line, but for a much bigger reason.
Good morning.
So the Run for Hope is a run walk to support suicide prevention. This run is to bring awareness to the subject.
Beginning with early morning warm-ups and registration, participants at the Run for Hope take a stand for a meaningful cause.
Get set. Go.
It's important because it brings awareness, not only to suicide awareness, but suicide prevention.
A lot of the times we won't be thinking what people are going through, and we're kind of just we're easy to judge. We're not putting ourselves in someone else's shoes.
Make sure that we're having the conversations and we're talking about it so people don't feel like if they're struggling that they can't communicate that.
Go in!
Every step taken here today is an opportunity for individuals to feel seen, to share their experiences, and to be truly heard.
It's important that they see how many people support them, to have conversations so that they know that if they're struggling, they're not alone.
This is a truly pressing matter that needs to be taken with the utmost serious. The more people who know, the better.
With the combined efforts of the community, runners and volunteers are uniting together every year to create a more hopeful future.
We're attacking something that doesn't need to happen. So I believe one of the best things that we can do is bring awareness to that, specifically suicide prevention. And I think it brings the community together because not only the school, but the community, different vendors are coming out and supporting it, and it's growing each and every year.
This run is about more than miles on a track. It's a reminder that no one has to face their struggles alone. Reporting for GHTV, I'm Chandler Williams.
Hundreds are running.
And welcome back here in the booth, or I would say in the booth. We're actually out of the booth. We're up on the very top of the press box, getting to enjoy this wonderful band performance by Alma as they just had their state championship cheerleader team come out here and perform. And man, I'll tell you, their extracurriculars over here at Alma are always top notch, Dustin.
Oh, absolutely. You ever been to the halftime show of their basketball and their dance team comes out? You know why they're state champions.
Yeah.
They are phenomenal.
Yeah, so we're going to let Dustin go over a few stats here for you in the first half. It's been a lot of offense.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. So I'll start with the team stats. Greenbrier had 13 first downs. They were 10 rushings for 138 yards. 13 of 16 passes for 271 yards. Total yardage, 399 yards.
That's incredible.
I think we talked right before the break, and this mimicked a track meet. 700 total yards when you combine both teams.
Wow.
That is a end of the game stat.
Yeah.
And we got a half to play.
Yeah.
So when you look at third down conversions, we only went to third down 3 times. We were 2 for 3 there. For Alma, you had 11 first downs, 57 yards rushing. They had 11 for 22 passes for 247 yards. Again, 304 total yards for them. And third down conversions, 2 for 9 tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And Greenbrier done a good job. Of course, they've been very opportunistic defensively this year, creating 14 turnovers coming into this ball game, and we're able to get one there in the first half as well.
They've continued. Well, I say they continued their streak. It ended last week.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah,
we got the dub.
That's right.
So, give you some individual stats on our side of the ball. Jack Palmer, 12 for 15 for 228 yards. Trendon had the 1 pass for 33. Receiving, Salter led all with 4 catches and 87 yards. And then rushing, Enoch, 10 carries, Matt, 138 yards.
He made the most of those 10.
He makes it easy for us to do some division there. That's
right.
13.8 yards per carry.
That's incredible. And I was looking at his stats for the season, and he's got 9.36 yards a carry on the year, and so that's just going to go up.
That's incredible. On the defensive side of the ball, tackles was led by Brady Wilbanks and Ace Newland with 3 apiece there.
So great first half there for the Panthers as they lead 49-20. I will say that, from up here watching the ball game, I guess it didn't feel like that Alma had that many yards in the first half. And most of it was just big plays and broken coverages and things of that sort. They really only put one solid drive together, which was the first one of the ball game.
Well, you think 93 of those, or 96 of those yards came in one series when we put them on the 4-yard line there. Yeah,
and just a busted coverage as Tyree, got caught up on the stop and go and ended up in a big play. But still, I bet Coach Stone makes some big adjustments at the halftime, and the defense comes out here and has a better showing.
Well, I was down the field last week and watched Stone's reactions to that last second touchdown that we gave up. And it doesn't matter if there's time on the clock. Stone does not want to lose or give up anything. So to your point, he's going to make some adjustments at halftime, and I'd love to see our defense step up and get real stout here.
Absolutely. With 9:39 left here at halftime, we're going to take another break, catch our breath, and when we come back, we'll talk about this second half. We'll hit some scores from around the state, and we'll get ready for some more action here of Greenbrier Panther football when we come back right here on My Country, Y107.
Hundreds are running here at Greenbrier High School, not just for the finish line, but for a much bigger reason.
Good morning.
So the Run for Hope is a run walk to support suicide prevention. This run is to bring awareness to the subject.
Beginning with early morning warm-ups and registration, participants at the Run for Hope take a stand for a meaningful cause.
Get set. Go.
It's important because it brings awareness, not only to suicide awareness, but suicide prevention.
A lot of the times we won't be like thinking what people are going through, and we're kind of just like, we're easy to judge. We're not putting ourselves in someone else's shoes.
Make sure that we're having the conversations and we're talking about it so people don't feel like if they're struggling that they can't communicate that.
Get going!
Every step taken here today is an opportunity for individuals to feel seen, to share their experiences, and to be truly heard.
It's important that they see how many people support them, to have conversations so that they know that if they're struggling, they're not alone.
This is a truly pressing matter that needs to be taken with the utmost serious. The more people who know, the better.
With the combined efforts of the community, runners and volunteers are uniting together every year to create a more hopeful future.
We're attacking something that doesn't need to happen. So I believe one of the best things that we can do is bring awareness to that. Specifically suicide prevention, and I think it brings the community together because not only the school, but the community, different vendors are coming out and supporting it, and it's growing each and every year.
This run is about more than miles on a track. It's a reminder that no one has to face their struggles alone. Reporting for GHTV, I'm Chandler Williams.
Did you know the production you're watching is being run and managed completely by Greenbrier High School media production students?
Students in the GHTV program are responsible for running live streams of different school events.
Stand by camera 1. Things like athletics, school signing days, and many other campus events.
We also work on other productions throughout the year. We make news packages and feature videos telling the stories of our school.
Don't forget about our short films and the weekly news for the high school.
The GHTV program has 2 different YouTube channels. The channel you're on now is where you will find all of our live streams.
And on the GHTV Productions channel, you will find student projects like news packages and short films.
Make sure to subscribe to both channels so you stay updated on all of our content.
For the 30th anniversary, East is coming back to where it all started, right here in Greenbrier, Arkansas. East is more than a program, East is an experience.
We believe every learner everywhere should have an opportunity to have an East experience.
Every student that grows is a success story because it's not about the technology or the tools. You get to be the leader of your own learning. You get to make the decision and the choice of what you want to learn based on who you want to help.
East has made an impact on many students and left its mark on history.
I believe in my heart that when the history of 21st century education is written,
closer to the
East will be in the first paragraph.
In our community, I think you have a lot of students that realize the importance of volunteering and giving back to the community and becoming good civic leaders.
Starting in middle school, students across our campuses have the opportunity to join East program.
I think people should join East so that they can have better scholarships and have a better opportunity to get a higher education.
It is a unique experience that you cannot find anywhere else in school.
With the help of East students and staff at Greenbrier High School, East celebrated their 30th anniversary and will continue to celebrate more years to come. Reporting for GHTV, I'm Jovi Malone.
Playoff, Greenbrier or the West will face off against the East in the first round of the playoffs, and really the East, Dustin, just been watching the scores throughout the season, and you never really can tell until you get head to head with somebody, but really looks like that East is struggling this year and is down this year. Valley View's of course a really good team, but after that, that second, third, and fourth seed just does not look as strong as it has been in the past.
Well, after last week, you had 2 undefeateds over there with Searcy and Valley View.
Well, Searcy's in the Central now. Harding Academy's in the East. Yeah. So
who knows? Who knows?
So Searcy's still undefeated, and they're beating Pine Bluff pretty good tonight. So Searcy and Robinson are undefeated in the Central. That will be a clash.
That will be, and one to look out for because we get the East 4 if we get the first seed, and then we play the winner of I think the Central 2nd and South 3.
Yeah, so it'd probably be either Searcy or Maumelle is what I'm guessing. I think Robinson's the class of that league. So either Maumelle or Searcy there at that Central 2. Of course, you know, the South 3 is going to be pretty strong. I mean, you're probably either going to get Camden Fairview or probably Hot Springs.
Yeah. So listen, once you get in the playoffs, there's no easy walk.
That's exactly right. So let's look at some scores here. Like I said, Searcy over Pine Bluff right now in the third quarter, 30-8. Robinson only over BB right now, 21-17.
That is not expected.
Not at all. Not at all. Maumelle beating Jacksonville 21-3. Let's see here, some more 5A scores. Nettleton beating Greene County Tech 7-3. Paragould 6, Harding Academy 26. Batesville 0, Wynn 0 in the third quarter. That one's a defensive battle. Opposite of what we got going on here.
They have forgotten how to win ball games. You got to get to the end zone, fellas.
Let's see here. Hot Springs Lakeside 35, Hope 0, Magnolia 22, Hot Springs 32. Still no score on Pea Ridge and Clarksville. Harrison 20, Morrilton 12. That one in the third quarter. So a little bit of a surprise there. And Farmington all over. Harrison up on Morrilton 27-12. Just got a text from Chad Pitts. So Harrison pulling away from Morrilton right there.
Well, you know, at the beginning of the year, when you looked at this conference, you thought us, Farmington, Morrilton, and Harrison would probably be your top 4, and probably not in that order if I was looking at it in July.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good ball game with us in a couple weeks up there.
Especially going up there on Halloween, you know, playing the Goblins on Halloween.
I'll tell you, Matt, that's a little bit scary.
It really is. Let's see what else we got here. Farmington all over Bologna, 38-0 in the third quarter there. And I think that's going to wrap up the 5A. Conway all over Central right now. Central's only got 20 yards at halftime. Mayflower up 21-6 on Quitman. Thought that would be a really good ball game, and it's turned out to be a good one so far. It's both teams undefeated going into that one. I am going to recognize our students here on our production crew here in just a little bit, as we got 3 special students that made the trek all the way up here to Alma without their fearless leader tonight, and have done a fantastic job.
You know, Matt, it's the program Greenbrier has around this is really spectacular, and student-led is, just giving them an opportunity for something maybe down the road.
Good kickoff by Alma as we're underway here. Greenbrier will bring it out to the 25. As Alma will take him down there just past the 25 out to the 28-yard line. Salter Mahan, good return for the Panthers, and we'll see what this offense has for us first drive of the second half.
Well, Greenbrier needs to drive this down, and I think you'll see a lot of Enoch on this drive. 1, to run some clock, and 2, to put that dominance in and get it in the end zone.
So Greenbrier will start their first possession of the second half at the 28-yard line. Pistol formation. Palmer will turn. Hand off to Hassan on the right side. Good hole on the right. Makes a man miss. He's out to the 40 and will be taken down there as he gets out to the 43-yard line.
Fantastic job by that front 5.
Yeah.
They stayed with their blocks. There wasn't any of them turning around looking to see you get back to the huddle. They pushed all the way down the field.
So big run right out of the gate for Enoch as he gets it out past the 40, as Greenbrier will line up quickly. Palmer tries to get a free 5, and well, I tell you, they got 8 men in the box right now, Dustin, or 7, and he's still just gashing them. Just a hats off to this offensive line. Palmer fakes the handoff, gets it out on a slant, and just a little tall for his receiver.
Palmer's pass intended for Camden County.
Well, that was a great play call. We called the right play. They blitzed that linebacker down, got on Enoch quickly. We pulled it, hit the slant route, and just a little tall for him, like you said.
So bring up a 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers. That pass was attempted to Caden Cummings, and Jack did a good job avoiding the blitz there. 2 running backs this time for Palmer. as he'll hand it off this time on the right. And Hassan will be run out of bounds after a pickup of about 4 on the play. We'll call it 5. So bring up a 3rd down and 5 for the Panthers. Ball at the 39-yard line, 38-yard line, 48-yard line, sorry. So big play here for the offense. Pistol formation for Palmer as he'll look to the sideline to get the play call. Turns, hand off to Hassan on the left. Gets through the first line of defense, and a great run by Enoch as he gets into Alma territory down to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Matt, he got 3 or 4 yards and then planted that foot and just got north and south there.
Hassan picks up a number for Greenbrier, first down.
So Greenbrier into Alma territory for the first time here in the second half as they'll stay in that pistol formation. They'll bring Dearsall in motion from left to right. Palmer fakes a handoff, will roll right, gets it out on an out route, and a great throw to, is that Mosley?
Yep, that was Mosley there. We tried to get Dearsall on that little flat there. They guarded it well, but Mosley had a nice comeback.
And that was an impressive throw by Jack on the run there. That was a long throw on an out route, and can't really miss on those on the inside, and or it could go the other way, and he did a good job of putting it where it needed to be. 2nd down and 1 for the Panthers. Palmer fakes a handoff, slant route. He got his man Mahan on a good catch across the middle, gets it down inside the 20 for a first down for the Panthers.
Well, you always like to see your receivers willing to go inside on that slant and catch the ball.
Absolutely. So Greenbrier with the ball on the 19-yard line, 1st down and 10. Panthers have been very efficient in the red zone so far tonight. Palmer will turn, hand off to Hassan on the right. Big hole, cuts back to the middle, 5. Touchdown Panthers!
Man, offensive line just blew that hole open. Enoch made that little cut back, and you're not going to catch him there.
So a great run for Enoch. I'm not sure how many touchdowns that is for him tonight. I think, is that 5? I can't remember. They don't show touchdowns on our stats, so.
You know, Matt.
That's the 8th touchdown of the ball game for Greenbrier, so surely he's got 5 of them.
This will that put us on over the sportsman rule there as well.
It did. So Greenbrier leads 55-20, which is over the sportsmanship rule, pending this extra point, and the kick is up, and it is good. So Greenbrier up 56-20, and we'll be back right after this with more 3rd quarter action of Greenbrier Panther football on My Country, Y107. And welcome back to Alma, Airedale Stadium, as Greenbrier takes the opening drive of the second half and marches it right down the field, and just more of what we've seen all night so far, Dustin.
Matt, you know, one thing I've noticed in being around the program for the last 6, 7, 8 years, I feel like we're using the passing tree in its entirety better than we ever have.
Yeah.
You know, we use that screen pass through the years. We've used the long seam pass. But man, we were using the slants, the outs.
I agree. You know, for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why Greenbrier would never run the slant. That's my favorite route and the hardest route to cover, and we just refused to run it for so many years, but the last 2 or 3 years we really started running it a lot.
Yeah, but it's good to see, and it just gives you another dynamic of the passing game.
Yeah. So the clock will continue to run all the way through the second half, only being stopped for injuries and timeouts. And so 9-10 and counting, so this second half will go in a hurry. 56-20 is your score. Panthers up 36 here, and like I said, like to see this defense really get after this first series for Alma. Lemieux hands off on the right side, and a good start for the defense as Perkins is hit at the line of scrimmage. He will fall forward for the pickup of 1.
I mean, he looked like he grabbed a steer right there. Grabbed him by the horns and brought him down.
2nd down and 9 for the Airedales.
But, you know, you compare this out here to the Clarksville game. Our first-team defense didn't come out the last series of the first half.
Right.
But Stone's wanting to make a point here tonight.
Yeah. Get some pressure on Lemieux. He throws it deep. He's got his man, and the ball's caught by Jackson. And a great route and a great throw by Lemieux. Tyree was in good position and hit him as the ball was caught, but Jackson just did a great job of holding on to the football.
Well, I'm glad we had some other guys down the field because, again, you nailed it. He hit him with the shoulder and forgot to wrap up there, and he could have scampered on down for a touchdown.
So big play for Alma as they get it into Greenbrier territory. Ball's marked at the 41-yard line. Lemieux looks over the defense as he has trips to his left. Fakes the handoff and will be pressured and sacked in the backfield. And a good job by Wilbanks on the linebacker blitz to get Lemieux for a big loss.
You know, Wilbanks tied the first half on tackles, and he's continuing it right here in the second half as well.
I talked a little bit about him last week, Dustin, and I feel like him as well as the rest of this linebacking core has just done a good job each week of really figuring that position out.
Well, that was the biggest question mark, I think, on the defensive side of the ball. You've got some big guys up front that they thought were going to play well. That linebacking crew is a complete overhaul, and yeah, to your point, they've done well.
2nd down and 15 here for the Airedales, as they'll fake the handoff, get it out here on a little out route, and a good job in coverage by Kemp that time, but he comes down a little awkwardly, and hopefully he's okay.
Looks like he's going to walk it off. You know, that play action has gotten us a few times tonight, but we played it well right there.
And Kemp will go off on his own power, but a little gingerly.
Well, that's probably the right call for the coaching staff at this point.
Yeah, definitely need him down the stretch. Dustin Jolly will, or not Dustin. That's
Brandon.
Brandon Jolly will come in for it. 2 running backs for Lemieux. He'll take the handoff. Looks to go deep down the left seam. It's double covered and overthrows everybody as he tries to get Schlegel. And Greenbrier's done a good job of knowing where he's at tonight.
You're right there, Matt. And, you know, as a safety, you always want to be the deepest man on the field. And I thought we've done a pretty good job of that tonight. They've had a couple of good catches, but overall, we've played good assignment defense.
So bring up a 4th down and 16. And Alma will keep the offense on the field. Ball's on the 47-yard line of the Panthers, and they'll have to get to the 31 here. They'll go trips left, single receiver to the right. They'll bring pressure as Roop Adam comes off the left. They do a good job of picking it up, and now he'll step up into the pocket and be taken down by Ushery. And a big play for the Panther defense.
Well, you know, as a coach with 4th down and long like that, you probably want to see him take a chance down the field.
Yeah. And a good job by the Panther defense. Gave up the long pass, but then stood tall and got off the field there.
Well, Matt, other than the long pass right there, they went, once we got down here, 4 and out, and that ran 4 minutes off the clock.
That's right. So I'm sure we'll get to see some new faces here for the Panther offense. We'll try to get you some numbers as they come in.
I see Enoch over there with his helmet off already. So
let's see here if I can get some numbers for you. Got 48, Sawyer Wilcox coming out here, split wide to the left. Your quarterback, Easton Jutsey. Looks like your running back is Mason Linville, as they'll turn and hand it off to him on the right side, and he'll be tackled in the backfield for a big loss. Number 66, Dustin, you got the roster there?
Yep, 66, Lonnie Shaw.
Number 53
is Ethan Taylor.
52,
Ivan Van Everen.
71.
David Wadlow.
Let's see here, number 15.
15, Eli Fleming.
Okay, I got one other lineman. I couldn't get his number there. Second down and 15 for the Panthers. Jutsey takes a snap, and the ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage and will be incomplete. Let's see here. 67, did we say 67?
We did not. That's Emery Bradley.
Okay. And then 37 out wide right.
That is Carter Jordan.
All right. So got some good new faces in here for the Panther offense. 3rd and 15 as they will try to pick up this long 3rd down conversion. 3 receivers to the left for Jutsey, as he'll let this play clock run all the way down before taking the snap. He will take his drop, tries to set up a screen pass. They defend it pretty well, and he smartly throws it at the feet of the running back.
Matt, you don't see a sophomore quarterback with very limited snaps usually make a decision like that.
That's right.
A smart decision and just move on to the next play.
So Greenbrier will have to bring the punt unit out for the first time tonight, as they will punt it away to Alma. Alma sends. Perkins, no, that's 6. I think that's Jackson.
Dylan Jackson.
Dylan Jackson back deep. Do get the punt away. It takes a Greenbrier bounce and will roll dead at about the 29-yard line of Alma's. So 2:12 left to play here in the 3rd quarter, as this quarter has just flown by. As by the time both units get back out on the field, it will be close to 1:30 left.
And Matt Stone sent him back out the first defense. So just like we talked about at halftime, he's going to make a statement with them and get out what he wants here.
Well, and you know, to be honest, I mean, this is still a young group, and they need as many game reps as they can get. So I think it's a good decision.
Absolutely right.
1st and 10 for the Airedales. Trips to the right. Lemieux takes his drop, tries to set up a screen, and a great job by Big Klosky.
Hit him right in the hands.
I bet his eyes got a little big right there. What do you think?
Oh, he was dreaming right there in that end zone.
He was seeing that gold end zone and starting to dream up his touchdown dance.
Oh, yeah. I could see the old fridge dance down there.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Airedales. 1:07 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Trips right again as the ball's on the left hash. Schlegel in the slot, runs a quick slant. They try to get it to him and a good route. He breaks a tackle at the 45, and he's down all the way into Greenbrier territory at the 40-yard line. And just a quick 3-yard slant, and good job of running after the catch.
He took that for about 25. You miss that tackle on the slant, and you're in trouble. And he's coming off the field little gingerly there himself.
Yeah, he is. Good athlete, man. He's impressive. Fun to watch. 1st and 10 for the Airedales. Lemieux looks over the defense, takes the snap. We'll hand it off to Perkins on the left side. He's got some room out to the 30, and he's down the sideline 20. Cuts back inside, 10, 5, touchdown, Alma.
Matt, they've had success on that particular play every time they've ran it. He runs to the left, and he slips out a little further. And most of their long runs have come on that play right there.
Yeah, so that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter.
They're going to go ahead and let them kick it down here.
Alma will line up for the extra point. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. And we're going to take a quick break, get some of our sponsors. When we come back, we'll have more Greenbrier Panther football for you right will kick it deep down to the middle of the field. Will be fielded at the 12. Brought up over the 20 to the 25. Mahan makes a man miss. Now gets tackled at about the 30-yard line where Greenbrier will start the offense there. So real quickly, Dustin, before we get into the action here, I want to give a shout-out to Chandler Williams, Brooklyn Bates, and Jory Malone, the 3 students that come and set up this great live stream action for all of our fans back at home. You know, that Ms. Goodnight was needed to stay home with her young infant child today, and they were able to come set this up all by themselves. And huge shout-out to them. They were competed in the Ozark Media Arts Festival Tuesday and Wednesday and placed in the top 3 in both film categories. And so I'm just really proud of these students and what they're able to do with this production crew and bringing the action to all of our fans back at home.
Absolutely. I think they get an A for the week, and I might know someone on staff that can make that happen.
All right. Hand off to Linville on the right, and Alma is just pinning their ears back right now. Has another loss in the backfield for the Panther offense.
Matt, you know, when you think about great teams and building a great culture, you always look at attitude and effort, and you don't let up. And you look at Alabama and Saban and the years through. And I was watching after that touchdown, and guess who was waiting for him on the sideline with some coaching? Stone. He holds them to a standard over there, and that's what starts making teams different.
Well, and I think it's something about this place, because I go back to Cooper's senior year, and it was kind of the same deal. I mean, we scored a ton of points against them, but somehow they just kept finding ways to score against us, and it's kind of the same story here tonight. And the snap was low and fumbled, but
it was late.
They blew it dead.
Delay a game.
Delay a game.
Which, listen, at this point, it's not a bad play. You just ran off another minute of the clock.
That's right. So it will be a 2nd down and 18 here for the Panthers. And this young second group of Panther offense has not been able to find their way so far. Empty backfield for Jutzy. He takes a snap, gets it out quickly, and a little mix-up on the route as he was trying to get a little seam route, and the receiver cut it off pretty quick.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad throw, and I don't know that it was a bad route, but he stopped at 5, and Jutzy threw it at 7.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing I did like when we were scoring at Will is the band wasn't playing a whole lot. Because it's hard to hear when they're playing.
Being outside, definitely.
So 3rd and 18 for the Panthers. Jutzy looks over the defense, takes a snap, gets it out on a little hitch route, and he's got his man at the 45, out over the 50, and a great throw and catch for the Panther offense. It's number 19.
That is Austin Martin.
Great job there.
I think they forgot to guard him on that one. He was wide open.
That was the right number, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 for the Panthers, ball on the 44-yard line of the Airedales. They stay in empty formation for Jutzy. Take a snap, pumps, now he'll roll to his right. Nobody there, and he just throws it into the dirt. Luckily, it went past the line of scrimmage, barely.
Well, they threw the flag anyways.
That's not a good call. It went past the line of scrimmage. And there was somebody in the area.
Yeah.
Which, clock's still running.
I was fixing to say. Take your time, fellas.
They do call an intentional grounding, which I disagree with. What do I know?
Well, I'll say this. It won't be the first time we've disagreed with them, nor the last.
No, you're right.
We'd like to see this young group put a series together here, though, and take it down to the house.
So with the loss of down on intentional grounding, it will be 3rd down and 21. Jesse takes his drop, gets it out on a slant, and the ball will be incomplete. It was thrown a little bit behind his receiver, unable to haul that one in and bring up a punting situation for the Panthers.
You know, he's got a pretty quick release of the ball there.
Yeah.
I think he little threw it off his back foot a little bit, lost a little bit of accuracy behind him, but man, he's got a nice quick release.
Excuse me. Dearsaw on to punt for the Panthers. Jackson back deep for the Airedales. Gets the punt away. End over end kick will land at the 25 and roll out of bounds, and they'll mark it out at the 23.
They were coming after that punt, Matt. I thought Newland moved on before the snap forward in anticipation there, but they let him get away with it.
He's talking to the white hat right now. And
he may be thanking him.
The white hat probably told him, hey, son, next time I'm throwing the flag, don't do it again. So Airedales would take over the ball at the 23-yard line. Trips right for Alma. Greenbrier still with that starting defense in. And run up the middle, and Klosky did a good job there of just pushing that center back. But unfortunately, the running back just ran right by him. Pick up a 2 on the play.
I think Stone's going to run them out the rest of the game here.
Yeah, looks like it. Well, they hadn't made a stop. Well, they didn't make a stop the last time, so can't really go out like that. It's like leaving the gym after a missed basket. You can't do that.
That's a rule.
2 running backs as Lemieux will hand it off up the middle, and the defense does a good job of stacking him up this time for a short gain.
Yeah, Ace come down the line there, and then Ussery stood that end up and made a wall.
So 3rd down and 5 for the Airedales. 3:20 left to play in the ball game. Greenbrier leads 56-27. As it was 49-20 at halftime. A little confusion on the Airedales. They finally get lined up here in a tight set. They have trips to the right. Greenbrier will bring pressure. Lemieux gets it out, but it's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, Klosky's big paw got on another one there. Wasn't quite the gift that he got last time, though.
So bring up a 4th down and 5 here for the Airedales, and I'm sure they will go for it. So Greenbrier will move to 7-0 on the season, 4-0 in conference play, and Dustin really in the driver's seat for that conference championship.
Yeah, they've just got to keep their heads about them. Remember what's in front of them each week, and they'll get through this conference, I think, unscathed.
Empty backfield for Lemieux, and now they'll blow it dead.
Another delay of game, I think.
Yes, they'll get a delay of game here. You know, I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed with this sophomore quarterback for Alma. He's thrown the ball well tonight.
He has, Matt, but, you know, I tell you, I thought the defense has gave up a little more than they should have tonight.
I agree with that.
What they're capable of.
I agree with that 100%.
I'd rather learn a lesson and win than learn a lesson the hard way.
So 4th down and 10, they will hand it off on the right side, and Greenbrier will stop him short. And that's probably going to do it, as Greenbrier will more than likely take the victory formation. You know, that's one thing Tribble said in his interview before the game is, you know, a lot of times in the past he felt like that his teams, after a loss, always got better because they learned. And that was his message to this team is, let's not have to lose to learn. Let's learn every week of what we need to do to get better and not have to take that loss to learn. And I thought that was really important for him to tell them that.
Yeah, it's been great to see, and you know, we've got over 20 seniors, I believe, on this team. So you got some good leadership in some really key positions, and so they've taken that each week and learned and gotten better. I think as you think about go all the way back to Warren, where I thought we struggled, got kind of lucky almost to walk out of there.
Yeah.
But we've just built and built and built, and it's been a great season so far.
as Greenbrier does take the victory formation, and that will be the last play of the ball game, as they will not have to snap it again. So another great win here for the Greenbrier Panthers as they move to 7-0 in the season and 4-0 in conference play. And man, you just can't say enough about this team so far this year and what they've been able to accomplish. And you know, there's not been very many teams in Greenbrier history start 7-0.
No. I can remember one very recently, though.
There was one very recently.
And so when you start stacking up some stuff like that, you start moving from a season to you start moving to a culture.
Yeah.
And I think coaches have got this thing going in a great direction, and it's good to see.
I agree. Well, we're going to take a quick break and hit some of our sponsors. When we come back, we'll have you some game stats, and then our players of the – you get those stats. Get you our players of the game, our Integrity Insurance players of the game, and then we're going to head back I-40 back to Faulkner County. So stay with us, and we'll be back.